Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Denny.
Hey, Denny.
Hey, Bill. Jen.
Danny.
Hey, Patsy. Come on. Tony.
A lot of background noise, so can you please mute if you're not talking? Thanks. Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of council for Mayfield Village, Ohio. Today is Monday, May 17th, 2021. It is 7 p.m. This meeting is being duly noticed and is being held in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22, specific to recent amendments made in light of the current COVID-19 declared emergency, House Bill 197, amended by House Bill 404. Under the orders of Governor DeWine and the Director of Health of Ohio, and pursuant to Ordinance 2020-08, adopted March 16, 2020, Council is meeting remotely via electronic means. Notice of this meeting was sent to the news media on May 14, 2021. The public is invited to view the meeting live by accessing the meeting through a link posted on the website. The public was also encouraged to view the meeting agenda and offer any comments or questions prior to 6 p.m. this evening to be read into the record and addressed at the meeting. Comments received in writing or electronically that were not received on time will be read into the record and addressed at the next meeting of council. Mayfield Village is conducting these proceedings in compliance with all applicable state laws and regulations. Mrs. Betza may have a roll call, please.
Mrs. Jurassic,
Here.
Marquardt,
Here.
Mr. Myers,
Here.
Mrs. Mills, Mr. Murphy,
Here.
Mr. Williams,
Here.
Mr. Schott,
Here.
Mayor Bodnar,
Here.
Mr. Wynn,
Here.
Mr. Coyne,
Here.
Mr. Marquardt,
Here.
Mr. Morelli.
Here.
All other department heads are viewing this meeting virtually.
Thank you. Please remain seated as I recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a consideration of minutes from the regular meeting of council from April 19th, 2021?
Make a motion to approve as written, please.
I second it.
Discussion? Mrs. Betza, may I have a roll call, please?
Jurassic,
Yes.
Mr. Marquardt,
Yes.
Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes,
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Schott.
Yes. Minutes from the April 19th, 2021 meeting are approved. May I have a motion to consider the minutes from the special council meeting on May 3rd, 2021?
make a motion to approve as written, please.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Betza, may I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Jurassic,
Yes.
Mr. Marquardt,
Yes.
Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes,
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Schott.
Yes. The minutes from the special meeting of council from May 3rd, 2021 are approved. Next, we have comments from Mayor Bodnar.
Thank you, Council President. I have some good news to report this evening. We have been successful in our search for a new building commissioner. Mr. Daniel Russell will be succeeding our own John Morelli. And John, note that I didn't say replacing because no one can replace you. But Dan Russell is coming to us from the Medina County Building Department. He has extensive experience in residential and commercial work, and he will be joining us on June 1st. So he'll have 3 to 4 days overlap with John Morelli. Can learn the ropes a little bit from John then, and then after that, we'll be learning the ropes from Debbie Garbo. So we will be getting a memo out to council soon, probably tomorrow or the next day, filling you in on a lot more details. But we're very happy. Dan is very qualified, and he's a very pleasant, personable guy. So I think it's going to work out very well. Thank you. And that's all.
Our next regular meeting of council is on Monday, June 21st. Caucus is scheduled for Monday, June 7th. Both of these meetings will be virtual. The governor's order as to virtual meetings expires on July 1st. We will keep everyone posted as to whether or not that order gets extended. Next is the open portion of our meeting. Mrs. Betza, have you received anything to be read into the record?
Yes, Council President, I've received a few letters. The first letter came from Gary and Christine Nikitin. regarding temporary permit for Mars Electric, expansion of outdoor storage, planning and zoning minutes 4/15/2021 and 5/3/2021. Members of council on the planning and zoning, community economic development committees, Ward 2 representative, mayor's office. We are writing as future homeowners in the Montebello subdivision. We are excited to be moving from Mayfield Heights to South Cobblestone Road a few months from now. We feel there are 3 potential issues with the proposed expansion: sight, sound, and enforcement. We agreed that a landscape mound topped with trees should sufficiently screen the expanded Mars outdoor area from view, with the caveat, of course, that it is properly maintained over time. Number 2, we are greatly concerned about the potential for noise pollution, particularly in early morning when most residents would be sleeping. We understand that Mars begins their operations at 5 a.m. Truck engines, safety beepers, backup alerts on tow motors and trucks, and the emptying of the dumpsters. Have you ever known a refuse truck operator to gently set an empty dumpster on the ground? Are sounds which could easily wake nearby residents. Backup beepers and OSHA requirement for industrial vehicles are, by their very nature, loud and shrill. Their sound will carry a long distance. This point is especially pertinent as the open lot will be very close to a residential area. It may even be less than the 100 feet per side yard of a distribution establishment as specified in ordinance 1173.05 yard regulations. Note also that ordinance 509.03B6 regulates loading and unloading vehicles within 300 feet of a residential district. Being new to the village, we are not familiar with how strictly regulations and permits are enforced. In this case, it is known that the existing open area exceeds the original temporary permit granted on 3/7/2016. Yet, presumably, it has been renewed every 2 years in clear conflict with the last statement of the permit. Violation of any of these conditions shall result in withdrawal of the permit. Our suggestions: number 1, proceed with a development agreement to document the landscaping and screening per the 5/3/2021 planning and zoning minutes. Number 2, add a restriction to the replacement temporary permit that operations in the open area which generates sounds above ambient levels typical for that area are not to commence before 7 a.m. 8 a.m. would be even better, but that may be seen as unreasonable to some. Number 3, always perform proper due diligence surrounding temporary permits at the time of issuance, during implementation by the permittee, and at time of renewal. Regards. The second one is from Thomas and Cindy McLaughlin regarding temporary permit for Mars Electric and expansion of outdoor storage area. Dear members of Mayfield Village Council, planning and zoning members, community development committee members, Ward 2 representative, and mayor. Within the next few months, we will be moving to the Montebello subdivision from Norwalk, Ohio. We have retired and are relocating to be closer to family. Our home will be located very close to the Mars Electric facility as it is on South Cobblestone Road. We selected this lot because of the trees located directly behind our future home. We chose Mayfield Village because we wanted the small town atmosphere we have been accustomed to while living in Norwalk. It has been brought to our attention that Mars Electric is requesting plans to expand the outdoor storage area. This expansion has the potential to create several problems for homeowners in the Montebello subdivision. Number 1, the view of the expansion would be an eyesore. However, the plan to create a landscape mound topped with evergreen trees would be acceptable and should solve this problem. Number 2, we would hope that this area would be properly maintained by Mars Electric to preserve the privacy and beauty of the neighborhood. However, this has not been determined. Number 3, the increase in noise would create a disturbance for residents, especially when sleeping in the early morning hours. It would be impossible to sleep to the sound of tow motors, truck engines, backup alerts, and emptying of dumpsters. It is our understanding the ordinance 509.03B6 specifies when it is appropriate for the loading and unloading of vehicles within 300 feet of residential homes. Number 4, it is our understanding that the property where the Montebello subdivision is located has always been zoned residential, so Mars Electric should have been aware of these restrictions. We respectfully request that the ordinance 509.03B6, as it relates to noise, be strictly enforced for the benefit of all the residents of Montebello subdivision. We feel this ordinance is very reasonable for all parties. We also request that Mars Electric maintain the landscape mound. Thank you for your consideration in this matter. Respectfully submitted. Third letter is from Robert and Linda Muskoka at 6466 North Cobblestone Road, Mayfield Village, Ohio. Subject temporary permit for Mars Electric expansion of outdoor storage. Planning and zoning minutes 4/15/2021 and 5/3/2021. Members of council on the planning and zoning, community economic development committees, Ward 2 representative, mayor's office. We are writing as future homeowners in the Montebello subdivision. We will be moving from a busy high traffic road in Highland Heights to an expected quieter location on North Cobblestone Road later this year. We have been informed by our builder, Skoda Construction, that the proposed expansion of Mars Electric has potential issues and may not be in compliance to established ordinances. Refer to attachment for ordinance 1173.05 yard regulations and ordinance 509.03B regulating the loading and unloading of vehicles near a residential area for specifics. The primary issue appears to be sound. We are greatly concerned about the potential for increased noise pollution, especially in the early morning. We understand that Mars begins their operations very early in the morning. Truck engines, other vehicles, and other business noises are sounds that could easily disturb nearby residents. Another issue may be viewing of the proposed outdoor storage. However, we understand that a proposed landscape mound topped with trees should sufficiently screen the expanded Mars outdoor area from view. Lastly, enforcement of the terms of the permit are a concern. We are not familiar with how strictly regulations and permits are enforced in Mayfield Village, but it is our understanding that the existing open area exceeds the original temporary permit granted on 3/7/2016. It has been renewed every 2 years in clear conflict with the last statement of the permit. Violation of any of these conditions shall result in withdrawal of the permit. We understand the involved parties are meeting regularly to discuss alternative solutions to resolve the issues. We ask that the city government include the concerns of the new Montebello residents as they review the permit for Mars Electric expansion. Thank you. And the last letter is from Chris Skoda at Skoda Construction. Good afternoon. I am writing to you in regards to the Mars Electric storage area expansion that will be before you Monday night. If allowed, the expansion would be detrimental to the future of the Montebello subdivision, and we ask the council consider implementing our compromise in the attached letter. If a compromise cannot be reached, we believe this matter should be sent back to planning and zoning, since they were not informed of this area being used as a loading and unloading zone. As you will see, we are only asking that the current ordinance regarding loading and unloading trucks within 300 feet of a residential area not be permitted before 7 a.m. Planning and zoning moved this forward without the knowledge of the storage area being used as a loading and unloading zone. If council is in any way in the mindset to approve this matter, it should be referred back to planning and zoning for further discussion. Should this be allowed, it will financially destroy the value of the properties of Montebello subdivision. Have a great day. Council President, I also received an article from Mr. Skoda from the Environmental Health Perspectives written by David Holtzman on vehicle motion alarms, necessity, noise pollution, or both. I'll forward a copy of this article to everyone tomorrow by email. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Betzer. And just for heads up on some of the background noise, our friends next door at Village Nutrition are conducting an outdoor exercise class. So that's some of the background noise that you're hearing. So I'll plug into them if you want to get some fitness in with our friends at Village Nutrition. So now we're back to Clerk of Council, Mrs. Betza.
Just again, a reminder, Community Shred Day, Saturday, June 19th from 9 to noon. Please call the village if you have any questions regarding that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Betza. Moving on to the department head reports. First off is the Finance Department, Mr. Nguyen.
Yeah, several items. Just wanted to mention that the Auditor of State has signed off on our financial statements for 2020, and that audit report has been posted on our website for viewing. Next week, I have our annual meeting with the county on the Tax Incentive Review Committee to review the performance of our 5 TIF agreements, and that that agreement should just be go on as planned, and nothing special with any of that. And then the last item is regarding our insurance for property, casualty, crime, and liability. Our insurance consultant right now is going out to market to have those policies underwritten, and I hope to have by June caucus an estimate of what the renewal pricing would be for those policies. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Mr. Nguyen. Next is the Law Department, Mr. Coyne. Mr. Coyne, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. I'd be remiss not to address that we will be meeting to address some of the concerns raised in the public comment section concerning the Mars electric storage area and the concerns raised by SCOTA development of the Montebello subdivision. So we will be addressing that going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Coyne. On to old business. Reading of ordinance number 2021-04 entitled
An ordinance amending Mayfield Village Codified Ordinance, Section 1501.08, unfriendly fires in building alarm duties.
discussion. Ordinance number 2021-04 will move to third read for June's meeting. Second reading of ordinance number 2021-05 entitled
An ordinance amending Mayfield Village Codified Ordinance, Section 1183.10, improvements to parking and loading areas.
discussion. Ordinance number 2021-05 will move to third read for June's meeting. Next is the second reading of ordinance number 2021-06 entitled
An ordinance amending Mayfield Village Codified Ordinance, Section 1501.12, conflict.
discussion. Ordinance number 2021-06 will move to third read for June's meeting. Next is second reading of ordinance number 2021-07 entitled
An ordinance repealing Mayfield Village Codified Ordinance, Section 1383.06, automatic fire detection systems in existing buildings in its entirety.
discussion. Ordinance number 2021-07 will move to third read for June's meeting. Last, we have second reading of ordinance number 2021-08 entitled
An ordinance amending Mayfield Village Codified Ordinance, Section 1383.03, buildings and occupancies requiring automatic fire suppression systems.
discussion. Ordinance number 2021-08 will move to third read for June's meeting. Moving on to new business. We had the motion to approve recommendation from Planning and Zoning Commission concerning the temporary permit for outdoor storage for application of Mars Electric Company at 6655 Beta Drive as proposed with conditions. At the request of the applicant, we would like to table this motion until a business agreement is agreed upon. May I have a motion?
A motion
Okay,
for further recommendations to planning and zoning, please.
second the motion.
Mrs. Betza, may I have a roll call, please? I'm sorry, was there any discussion on this for the tabling?
I don't believe it goes back to planning and zoning, does it?
It does not. It would just be tabled.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Mr. Coyne, any other discussion? We'll reword the motion then, correct, Mr. Nguyen? Once it comes back.
I make a motion that this recommendation to be tabled and sent back to planning and zoning for further discussion, please.
If I could,
Is that sufficient enough?
if I could interject, Council President,
Yes, please.
I think based on the request would be simply to have it tabled to meet with the parties, but you could just put that it's tabled and council will be able to take action at an upcoming meeting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Coyne.
So we'd have to make a motion to table this resolution.
Right.
That's correct,
This motion.
correct.
Patsy made that, shouldn't she? I'll second it.
Right. So we were basically just saying that we did not have to go back to planning and zoning, that we will work with the parties and then bring it back to council. So can we have a motion to table?
I'll make a motion to table it.
Second that motion.
Mrs. Benson, may I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Jurassic,
Yes.
Mr. Markar,
Yes.
Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mills,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Schein.
Yes. Motion to table carries. Motion to acknowledge receipts of financial reports for April 2021 and to approve of same as submitted.
A motion to acknowledge the financial reports of April.
I second that motion.
Discussion. Mrs. Benson, may I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Jurassic,
Yes.
Mr. Markar,
Yes.
Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy, Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Schein.
Yes. Motion carries. Motion to authorize expenditure in the amount of $10,906 to True Green for fertilization of sports fields at recreational complex.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Mrs. Benson, may I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Jurassic,
Yes.
Mr. Markar,
Yes.
Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Schein.
Yes. Motion carries. Resolution number 2021-17 entitled,
An emergency resolution authorizing the Village of Mayfield to enter into the mutual aid agreement with the Board of Park Commissioners of the Cleveland Metropolitan Park District.
Motion to pass.
Second.
discussion. Mrs. Benson, may I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Jurassic,
Yes.
Markar,
Yes.
Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Schein.
Yes. Resolution passes. Resolution number 2021-18 entitled,
An emergency resolution authorizing Mayfield Village to enter into contract with Brandstetter Carroll Inc. for design and construction management services for the Civic Center renovation in the amount of $30,000.
Motion to pass.
Second.
discussion. Mrs. Benson, may I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Jurassic,
Yes.
Mr. Markar,
Yes.
Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy,
You're on mute.
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Schein.
Yes. Resolution passes. Are there any other matters that come before council at this time?
President Shutt, John, tell me about the solar panels at Progressive. People are wondering what's going on there.
They're building a solar farm out now near 271. What do they want to know? Why they look the way they look or what's going
Right.
to happen?
Right.
The plan was taken to the Architectural Review Board and was laid out because we don't really have, and law department's working on it, is solar panel regulations. So prior to the law, having any laws to really enforce, we took the panels to the Architectural Review Board for the appearance out in the field, and they were approved for installation.
It's a shame that we lost all that green space, but I guess there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, yeah, the green space, if you recall, was, I think, a par 3 hole and maybe part of another tee box at one time. But Progressive, I think, felt that they wanted to show that they could be more energy efficient and do an energy production along 271. So it's pretty much it's going to produce quite a bit of power. You can see how many solar panels are out there, and it might be one of the biggest ones in Cuyahoga County, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So they're pretty proud of the fact that they're going to generate electricity versus, use it and reduce their carbon footprint.
Now, are they still gonna be using that chiller plant too with the, they
Oh, you
have-
mean the bunker? The
Yeah.
bunker you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything will be used, but the solar panels will produce some of the power necessary to go back into the grid. And, I'm not sure how many homes it would power. I don't want to dare to guess how many houses you could light up with those panels, but they will be doing energy production versus energy usage with those.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is that the front yard or the backyard of Progressive?
That's the backyard.
Okay. I thought it was the front yard being the freeway.
No, the front yard is on North Commons.
Okay,
That's where their building faces North Commons.
okay.
Are there any other matters that come before council?
Make a motion to adjourn this meeting, please.
Second,
Mrs. Betsa, may I have a roll call, please?
Jurassic, Mrs.
Yeah.
Jurassic,
Yes.
Mr. Marquardt,
yes.
Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes.
Mr. Murphy,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Schein.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for your discussions.